Hey there. All right, so we're going to just talk a little bit here about the differences between a conventional home and a living home. Living homes, they get stronger with age. Conventional homes, they get weaker with age. Living homes have this incredible protection called living bark. It is regenerative and it repairs itself on its own. Conventional, you have to use paint to protect wood or make sure it's not exposed, and you have to reapply it. Typically it's toxic for your environment. You can get some natural stuff, but it requires work. Living home, and the time it takes to plant, see each of these little rootlets here? You could get each one of those, plant 50 different, take cuttings of these, plant 50 different trees. You have 50 different homes. How long does that take you? Not that long, but it would take you about 20 years, 15 years to let it fully grow out a bit. Conventional homes vary a lot of work. It takes a lot of personal work. You're not working with life, but you have it potentially quicker. What else? Living homes, you're surrounded by a living biological matrix that energetically protects yourself. If you don't believe in that, do you believe in Wi-Fi? Okay? Conventional homes provides no protection, electromagnetic protection, and a living home, its biology will attune to yours and you will get to know it and it will get to know you. And conventional home, it's dead. It's not going to do that. There's a lot more differences. Those are some of the basic ones. Here's another one. Living home, anybody can grow one. A child could start growing their own living home, and by the time they're an adult, they could have their own home with no cost, really. The biggest cost for a living home is the energy and tending to the soil, because that's what creates it. And a conventional home, the biggest cost, well, you better have some access to a lot of wood, lumber. You could be recycling, and you could be using conventional materials or ecological things like straw bale and stuff like that. So now I'm not providing this as a way to say either is better. They both have their place. However, it's important to kind of heighten the differences because the living home is not well understood at this point, and it provides incredible benefit for future and multi-generational projects. Now, conventional homes, they don't typically. It requires a lot of upkeep and maintenance. Now, having said all those things, there is a space right now where we can utilize both. You can use what I call a hybrid structure. In a hybrid structure, you have that longer term intention and benefit that's going to be building over time, and then but you can simultaneously start with more of a conventional type structure, and then you grow the living home around and with it. You see how that makes sense? It's an excellent use of your energy. You're taking advantage of something that's going to get you quick and up and running, but also planning for the long term, which is what our society hasn't done. And that's important that we start finding daily ways that we're doing that. So a living home, a home is where everything starts. That is the foundation. It's kind of awful to think that our home provides the main destruction for the planet, in that conventional homes, you can't actually, most don't really work well with growing trees right next to them because the home itself gets destroyed, or its longevity is affected by the leaves and then the root system, the leaves falling on the roof and decomposing it, and then the root system also affecting the foundation. Now, here's one of my favorite differences. A living home, its foundation doesn't require any kind of invasiveness. Look at the roots. They just penetrate the soil and they hold it, and they hold the soil together really, really, really well. Conventional homes, you gotta excavate this whole thing. You gotta put pilings in. You gotta put pouring cement. That's usually the basic, and it can get even more intense than that. So one of my personal favorite, if there's anything you get out of this video, living trees provide incredible foundation, but you have to take care of the soil, which provides a whole another level, and this is where the education of working with the soil and working with living structures comes in. That's why I wrote a book, and that's why I'm making these videos, so we can get educated and intelligently work with the world around us instead of creating lots of work for ourselves. we're consciously working with it instead of creating labor for ourselves. Living Tree Houses, you're working with life, and it requires much less labor. You're just taking this stuff, weaving it together, and then letting it set and grow and observe and live amongst it. So there's some of the basic difference. Now you might say, hey, banyan trees don't grow in my area. That's why I spent 2 years, folks, researching, studying living trees, how they could work, and if this could work across the world. And it can. We're gonna touch on this in other videos. Don't get ants in your pants right now. We'll get there. But suffice it to say, different trees have different qualities and ways that they grow. Some will be better for certain things, some will be better for other things. On that note, thank you for joining me. I'm looking forward to sharing more on this topic and finishing my book so it can make it more available. And either way, you'll get to learn a bit through these videos. And I bid you adieu.